We're just trying to build little bits of the puzzle.
What do you remember about the incident?
I like this one.
Look at the map. Where were you when it happened?
I don't remember.
When you came round, did you see people?
Yes.
What were they doing?
They were dead.
The development for this has been quite lengthy. Could you kind of talk me through it? I mean, I'd say everything, but a little précis of how it kind of all came together.
I had read the book for pleasure shortly after it came out when I was making Brooklyn, and loved it. And I knew that the book had been optioned, and I knew that Peter Strawn, who's a writer that I knew a little bit and admired enormously, was charged with the job of adapting it. And the next sort of key moment was shortly after Brooklyn came out. I got a call from Warner saying, would I like to read the screenplay? And which I did, and loved it, and began the conversation with them. And that was probably a year and a half before we got into pre-production, so there was various drafts of the script happened through that time.
It's a big old thick novel, so there's a lot of decisions to be made. How did you find working with Peter and kind of really deciding what you wanted to focus on?
Well, you know, the decision to focus in on 2 time periods, I think, was the key one, because it also sort of allowed us to let go of the more linear structure, which is probably more suited to a miniseries, you know, or a huge kind of 19th century style novel. And it allowed us to cut back and forth between the past and present a lot more, and obviously allowed us to a practical way of casting it, focusing in on the two most dramatic periods of the boy's life, you know. So once we got that, then a lot of the less dramatic sections of the book sort of fell by the wayside. And we knew what we wanted to focus on, which was the sort of immediate aftermath of the explosion. And then that sort of point at which the tangle of the plot is becoming unpicked, and where Theo's getting into more and more trouble as an adult.
How kind of involved was Donna? I mean, did she kind of say, go off and you do you?
No, I don't. She quite put it like that. but in essence, yeah, I was sent to meet her in Charlottesville, and had lunch with her, and that was it. That was the only contact I had with her, it was amazing to meet her, and we had a great conversation about the book and about the screenplay. But that was it. I mean, you know, she's, I think, quite private, and takes a long time to write each novel, and I think she's in the middle of it. She wouldn't talk about anything that she was writing about, but I think her work is her life.
It's a fantastic cast. How was it putting all that together? Because obviously there's casting same characters at different ages, and that's a very complex process of getting it right.
It took a long time, and it was a case of measuring this person against that person. I mean, in a way, the thing that was least interesting to me was the more external, cosmetic, visual similarities between the actors. What was most important to me was that each age group it would have the correct emotional truth for the character. So our hair and makeup departments and costume departments worked very hard to bring our characters together, as it were, visually. But it was really important that they had the correct emotional temperature. And I didn't even let them look at each other's work, you know. I mean, young Theo and old Theo, young Boris, old Boris, they were all completely discrete from each other, because they're doing very different things within the film, even though, you know, playing the same character.
And how was Ansel specifically? Because so much of the film goes through him.
He was great. I mean, yeah, a huge heart, and a very, very sweet man to work with as well. Delightful presence, yeah.
And finally, having done 2 kind of big weighty novels, what's next for you? Are you looking for something with a light touch, or maybe not?
Actually, a light touch is probably good. Yeah. I don't know really. I mean, I'm doing. You know, I go back to the theatre and just open the play here before I open this in Toronto, and I'm going back to do Local Hero on stage, which is an adaptation of a film that I did earlier on last year. So. But, you know, it's really just about what material grabs you. I didn't set out to make another literary adaptation. I'm not setting out to make another one now, but that said, I'll be talking to you in 2 years' time. God knows what it'll be, you know.
Before and after. Everything is before and after. In the middle is the painting. That glow. You feel that?
Miracle after miracle, it survives.
There's something important I have to tell you.
Until you, is it lost?
Even the tiniest things mean something.
Who took the pain?
I thought everything would be broken forever.
Maybe sometimes good can come from bad.
It was my fault she died.
I would have given it back.